1971 to 1974. Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler.
Game 112, Expos at Ohio.
Welcome back, baseball fans. 1971-74 Summer Carryover League. We are back into the American League tonight. A round of 7 in the division, the American League North. Two teams you might not be familiar with, or at least in this division at least. The Expos have moved here to the American League North because there was too many teams in the National League East where Montreal Expos played. They also changed their colors to green for the Green Mountain State of Vermont, moved across the Canadian border into Burlington. That's where your Expos are right now. And they're playing one of the expansion teams, the Ohio Players, named after the band of the same name, and from Dayton, Ohio. And they reside in the American League North along with your Cleveland Indians and your Detroit Tigers. Fun, exciting, interesting, weird, the 70s all described in one game, basically. Let's take a look and see what's happened in this series that opened up in Expo Land. Don Wilson for Ohio, Steve Rogers, very young, for the Expos. And in this one, it is all Expos. They get to Don Wilson. His defense, poor Don, has horrific defense behind him. Loading the bases, and it's George Hendrick with a 2-base error. Then third baseman Ike Brown, third baseman just because where he is, that's where his GPS coordinates are. They have him standing over there with a glove. Ike, and he made not one, not two, but 3 errors in this game. And Dan Dreesen had a couple. So they had 6 errors in this game. It was a nightmare. So Don Wilson went 7 in the third, gave up 9 hits, 8 runs, just 1 was earned. It's an 8-4 victory for Steve Rogers and company. Expos win Game 1. Game 2 would go extra innings and be a marathon, and oh boy, these box scores get kind of muggy looking. When you go extra innings, you just fill in available boxes and then turn around. So you go 9 innings, extra innings, and then turn back until the game's over. If a game goes more than 18 innings, I don't know what to do. That's never happened before, so hopefully it won't. In any event, let's see, Al Downing and Steve Ranko were the starters. They weren't particularly good. This went all the way into the 12th inning, where we had a triple, a single, and a couple doubles. The Expos the Ohio Players took an 11-8 lead in the top of the 12th inning. But then in the bottom of the 12th inning, Ohio was down to the last relief pitcher, Vince Colbert, and Vince has had better times than he did when he pitched in the major leagues in that particular season, I'm sure, I would assume. He gives up a leadoff single, and then a ground ball, error again by, this time, Darryl Thomas. Then a walk in of a run. A fielder's choice brings another run in. A single scores another run, and a single scores another run. That's how you blow a 3-run lead in the 12th inning. So it was 8-8, final score 12-11, just a total chaotic mess. Some interesting things about this game. Ohio Players had 11 runs on 20 hits. The Expos had 12 runs on 11 hits, but 11 walks. And they have a starting 6 that gets on base, and this is a immovable object, these Expos. Singleton, Hunt, Jorgensen, Bailey, Staub, Fairley. That's it all year. They're not changing the lineup. That's carved into granite. And they're just going to flip in different 7, 8, 9 hitters. And that's 2023. That's what you're going to see this year. So right now it's working fantastically for the Expos. They're 5-1, and the Ohio team is 3-3. Game 3 in Ohio. Games 3, 4, and 5 if necessary in Ohio. Games 6 and 7 if necessary back in Expo Land. Today's starting pitchers. Oh, another fun matchup. For the Expos, Baylor Moore. 1972, 9-9 with a 3.47 ERA at 148 innings. He was a strikeout machine. Then he had some arm problems, disappeared for a little bit, returned in the later part of the 70s with the Toronto Blue Jays. What a shame that his Expo career got derailed. And for your Ohio players, it is Doc Ellis, 1971 Pirate, 19-9 with a 3.05 ERA. I believe he would have started in that All-Star game against Blue Comavita. So there it is, Baylor Moore, Doc Ellis today from Dayton, Ohio, the home of the Ohio players with their music in the background. Let's get started. Leading off, Kenny Singleton. 67, single 1 to 3, line out. Ron Hunt. 67 is a K for the right-hander. Mike Jorgensen. 66 is short X. Today's shortstop is a 4E42 in Adventures of Fielding for the Ohio players. And he gets a ground ball B. A little home cooking there. And as they jog off the field, Dave Cash whispers, "You got a no-no going." Bottom of 1. It's Ike Brown. 38 is ball 4. He leads the club in walks, so you put him in the top spot. Dave Cash. 55 off Baylor Moore is a strikeout. Gene Kleins. 45 is short X. Adventures of Shortstop today featuring Gary Sutherland and his 4E48. And it's GBC. And the runner at second with 2 outs for Bill Robinson. Bill Robinson. 1-6 is a strikeout. Top of 2. Bob Bailey. 66 is second X. Now we got a good guy there, Cash. He's a 2E22 second baseman. And he, as soon as I say we have a good defensive player, immediately makes an error. Rusty Staub. 66, short X again. 4E42 again. Ground ball C. Runner in scoring position for Ron Fairley. 63, first C. Runner at third, 2 outs for John Bateman. 54, short X again. 4E42 again. And an RBI single to get a run in and blow the no-hitter. Yeah. I don't think Doc Ellis is going to get an LSD. No, not with this defense. Boots Day, 410, homer 1 to 4, fly ball the rest. And the Expos gifted yet another run. 1-0. George Hendrick, 64, catcher's card. Bateman's a 2E13 catcher. That's an out. Johnny Jeter, 57's a K. Chuck Hinton, 49, single 1 to 12, lines out on a 19. Top of the third, Gary Sutherland, 5'11", first C. Singleton, 49, triple 1 to 2, base hit. Dog Will Hunt, 1-6, triple 1, single ... on the corners with 1 out for Mike Jorgensen. 38 is a walk. The bases are loaded. They're going to play back for Bob Bailey. 1-6 is a K. And with 2 outs, it's L'Orange Grand. Le Grand L'Orange, the big orange, Rusty Staub. 36, single 1 to 8, and he misses it and rolls a 17. 1-zip, Spose, bottom of 3. Dan Driesen. 57's a walk. B. Steeler. Larry Lentz will hit and run. Do something a little bit different, and he pops out. On the failed hit and run. Ike Brown. 33, and that's a 5-4-3 double play anyway. So, wasting base runners. We go to the 4th. Ron Fairley. 49, triple 1 to 2, base hit. John Bateman, 49 against a righty, triple 1 to 3, base hit ... On the corners, they got to bring it up for Abe Bunting, boots of day. 59, sac fly to center. Earned run. Don't see many of those. 2-zip. Runner at first, 1 out. Gary Sutherland. 6-12, second X. This is Dave Cash. 2E22, and Dave Cash turns a double play, making up for his fielding faux pas earlier. Bottom of the 4th. 2-0 Spose. And here is Dave Cash. 38, let's take a look at the Dave Cash card. Here it is, 1974, would hit 300 and a ton of plate appearances. My goodness. 733 plate appearances in 74 with the Phillies. Going to be doing it with the Ohio team throughout this decade. They love him here in Dayton. Single 1 to 8, and he lines out a 19. Gene Kleins, 47 is a walk. Runner at first for Bill Robinson. Bill Robinson, 34 is a 5. 2-4, 2-3, double play. And Baylor Moore has a no-no going as they go to the 5th. Singleton, 312, strikeout plus injury. Well, the Expos lost a left fielder. Well, put Ron Fairley at first and put Mike Jorgensen out in the left field. And let's put Ted Martinez at short. And let's put the Gary Sutherland at second. And let's put Ron Hunt at DH. And let's keep playing. Ron Hunt. 412 flies to right. And with 2 outs, it's Jorgensen. 44, strikeout. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay, bottom of the 5th of a 2-0 affair. Defense has not skewed the results too much. I mean, a gift run there, but this was earned. Tight game between two very talented pitchers, Baylor Moore and Doc Ellis for the time. Bottom of the 5th. It'll be George Hendrick. 2-6 rolls third. Johnny Jeter, 1-7 is a clean double off of Johnny Jeter's card. A clean double, and there goes your no-no. Runner at second, 1 out for Chuck Hinton. 39, let's take a look at Chuck Hinton's card. They love him here in Ohio. They had his utility Cleveland cards of 69 and 70 in the league prior. They kept it going, not quite as utilitarian as normal. He doesn't play third or catch. Oh, he does catch. Doesn't play third or second anymore. He does play first in the outfield and catch. Just a great utility player. But his average is down to 224, but plenty of power on both sides. 3-9 is a single to center field. Jeter, 16 runner, minus 2 on boots day, and they're going to hold him up, believe it or not. Down 2 runs. Runners on the corners, 1 out. They're going to bring the infield up for Dan Driesen. 2-8 rolls to first, and the runner holds at third. And with 2 outs, it's Larry Lentz. 58 off of Baylor Moore is triple, 1-2, single ... and that is single ... And that gets both runners in after the ground ball to first for the infield up, move the guy from first to second base. So it's a 2-out, 2-run single. We got a tie game here in Dayton. High players are digging it. Ike Brown, 2-7, single to right field. 2 on, 2 outs for Dave Cash. 67 is a K. Well, pretty even game. Just 1 more base runner for the Expos and an injury, and it's 2-2. No hitters are long gone. We'll go to the 6th inning. It's Bob Bailey. 48, double 1 to 11 off of the Doc Ellis card is a base hit. Rusty Swab. 47 is second X. This is Cash. Need to turn 2, and he does. The 2 rangy second baseman. If you're wondering why we're now plugging the 22 in here, it's because this is indicative of his fielding range, which is a 2. If there were parentheses, anytime you see a parenthesis under a result, it means the E rating was responsible for generating that result. That's a 4-6-3 double play for the 2 second baseman, and it's Ron Fairley. 49, triple 1-2, base hit. John Bateman. 48 again, double 1-11. So the Expos are getting their hits and not getting the runs, though. Second and third, 2 outs for Boots of Day. 47 is second X, and again, he makes the play. Again, the fielding rating of 2 for Dave Cash does the trick. One of those frustrating innings where you get a single, a double, and you don't score. 2-2. Bottom of the 6th. It'll be Gene Kleins leading off. Let's take a look at this Gene Kleins card before he swings away. 72 Pirates. .334 batting average with this card. My goodness, the Pirates had the best record in baseball in 72 after winning the World Series in 71. No room at the inn in Pittsburgh. Too many of these guys. So many of these star outfielders, and there was only so many spots on that Pirate roster. And they couldn't keep everybody. And Gene Clines was plucked away by the young Ohio players. Here's the pitch to Gene. 1-5, right on cue, is a clean double to center field. Baylor Moore's a starter 7. Can't break in this inning. Now it's Will Robinson, 66, is a K. George Hendrick, 57 is a K. And with 2 outs, it's John Jeter. Let's take a look at him before he swings. Mr. Double. He doubled, by the way, in the 5th inning, and he has a tendency to do a lot of that against left-handed pitching. 4 doubles and 75 at-bats, and that's how they loaded him up with his 71 card. He was a Padre. The expansion teams stock up on these short sample extra player cards. It's their best chance to be competitive, though a lot of times it doesn't help too much anyway. It just makes the game more fun, I suppose. John Jeter with a runner at second and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. 46. Baylor Moore strikes him out. And Baylor Moore today, the strikeout artist, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 Ks through 6 frames. It's a 2-2 nail-biter. Doc Ellis, Baylor Moore, into the 7th we go. Gary Sutherland, 2-7, lines the 3rd. Now up top it's Ted Martinez for the injured Singleton. 67 is another K for the doctor. And dog will Ron Hunt. Let's take a look at Ron Hunt's card before he swings, because it's just such a hideous looking card. This is the guy, if you're wondering, yeah. The guy who set the all-time hit by pitch in a single season record in 1971 with 50-something. And yet, they're all over the card. They're just everywhere. Plus, they had to move hits into different places, like 3-3 on this template has a hit. Very strange, bizarre-looking card, fun to look at. And he is up with 2 outs and nobody on. Pitch to Ron Hunt. 1-9, ground ball to short. Have to look at this card carefully. I can never take anything for granted because the things are in weird spots. Stretch time here in Ohio, and we have been enjoying the Ohio Players. Oh, I like this song too. That turns from the beginning. The Pleasure LP of 1972. Your Ohio Players, franchise owners in the Summer Carryover League. There Is Love was the big hit off of this one, along with Funky Worm and some other ones. And the Copyright Monsters wiped out the last half of this record, unfortunately. But 2-2, bottom of the 7th, Baylor Moore, chance to break him here. Bottom of the 7th, it'll be Chuck Hinton leading off. 34 is a K. Dan Driesen, 36, flies to right. Larry Lintz, 37 is a K. We'll go to the 8th. Pitcher's duel. I hope defense does not blow this game for either squad, but it probably will. Mike Jorgensen, 37 is ball 4. Bob Bailey, 310 is a K. Rusty Stahl, 47 is second X. This is cash. And another double play here. Keep hitting that. That's like the 3rd time in the game, with 2 double plays in turn as well. Bottom of the 8th, Baylor Moore. Does he continue? Well, having him continue might injure his arm. We know the rest. Maybe you want to protect this dude. Yeah, speaking of protecting arms, let's get Baylor Moore out after 7 and get Mike Marshall in there in the 8th. Going from fragile arm to rubber arm, Mike Marshall simply wants to pitch. Got kicked out of his closer role because they acquired Dale Murray to close games. He's not happy about it, and by next year he'll probably ask for a trade to the Dodgers, perhaps for Willie Davis, who will be playing center field, replacing Boots Day. But that's a story for another draft in the future. Mike Manor Marshall, what are his numbers? 14-8, .78 ERA in 116 innings. Comes on in the 8th inning and Baylor Moore gets the rest of the day off. No decision. Ike Brown, 53, first C. Dave Cash, 410, center X. 2E8 for Boots of Day, and makes the catch, with 2 outs. Gene Klein's 67 is a strikeout. We go to the 9th. Doc Ellis, you know he's going to continue his final inning. Ron Fairley, 3-6 is a walk. John Bateman, 65, pops to second. Boots Day, 42, pitcher B. B stealer against a +2 arm catcher. He's going to try and steal with 2 outs in the 9th. This will be close. It's 13, 14, 15, 1 of 12. He rolls an 11 and he makes it. Gary Sutherland with a lead run at second now and 2 outs. 1-7 is single, 1 of 19. He gets it, won't score the run though. Puts him on the corners, and the final batter will be Ted Martinez. 3-10 is a fly ball to left field. That is the end of the Doc Ellis day. 9 strong innings. Bottom of the 9th. It'll be Bill Robinson leading off against Mike Marshall in his second inning of work. 37 is a strikeout. George Hendrick, 211. It's a roller to second base. And with 2 outs, it's John Jeter. 210 flies to center field. 2 shorter innings for Marshall. Extra, extra. Okay, well, oh boy. They're down 0-2 in the series. They're going to go Tom Hall. The best they have in the bullpen. The rubber-armed Tom Hall. I don't know about if he's rubber-armed or not, but he has to be because the other 3 relievers they have are terrible. So Tom Hall will come on in the 10th inning as this team needs to win a baseball game. And he'll face Ron Hunt to lead it off. 46 is a walk. Mike Jorgensen, 58 is a K. Bob Bailey, 2-9 is a walk. 2 on for Laurent Grand, the Grand Orange. 66 off of Tom Hall is a walk. He loads the bases with 1 out. They're going to bring the infield up for Ron Fairley. 67 is a K, and with 2 outs and the bases loaded, batting for John Bateman. John Bacabella. John Bacabella, let's take a look at him. One of the 2 Montreal catchers in the year of 71 and 72. And Bacabella is announced as a pinch hitter. He versus lefties, Bateman versus righties. The sad part of this is you kind of like to bring a righty in, but the righties are, well, actually you can bring in Wayne Simpson. So they're going to take Tom Hall out. He was only going to pitch an inning anyway because he pitched 3 innings yesterday. He shouldn't have been pitched today. But in the top of the 10th with 2 outs, it'll be Wayne Simpson. He's good against righties. 8-5, 415 ERA in 130 innings. Wayne Simpson will come on and face John Bacabella with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the top of the 10th inning of a 2-2 affair. The pitch to Bacabella. 2-3 right in his wheelhouse. My goodness. 2-3. It's only triple 1 to 11, double the rest for the 227 hitter. And that is a base clearing triple. When you're living right, folks, and your Expos are. Hop on the bandwagon now, Expos. Base clearing triple by pinch hitting catcher John Bacabella, and with 2 outs, it's Boots Day. 5-12 second X. The second baseman makes the play. Okay. Let's turn this down a little bit as we go into the bottom of the 10th. As Ohio is in serious trouble right now, down 5-2 in the bottom of the 10th inning. Looking for some guy to close this thing out. Let's leave Mike Marshall in there. He can go 3 innings. Mike Marshall will continue and just go for the win, no save. And it will be Chuck Hinton leading off. 2-7's a K. Dan Driesen, 53, flies to the right X. This is Staub in right field's a 316. That's going to be a double. Larry Lintz, 68, is a pop to second. And with 2 outs, it's Ike Brown. I'll show you Ike Brown's card. Great. 255 hitter, 8 homers, 110 at-bats. And, yeah. Great card for Ike Brown. And here's the pitch. 63, pitcher X, Mike Marshall, is an E12. Needed a hit or an error to keep this game going. And they get the error. That was a break. So it had 22 in there for a few rolls, which we don't count because he's better than that. Then when we plug the 12 in, we still got an error. That's how you officiate that thing. So now you got runners on the corners, and it's Dave Cash. He actually cannot hit a home run here, but he can keep the inning going. The pitch to Dave Cash. 65 off Marshall is short X. This is Ted Martinez. He's a 3-18 shortstop. And the game is not over. It's a single off the shortstop. That scores a run. Puts a runner at second. Tie run at first in a 5-3 game with 2 outs. And it's Gene Klein. You saw his card earlier. And we're 1 batter away of breaking Mr. Mike Marshall. Gene Klein's. Double scoring the runner from first ties this thing. The pitch to Gene Klein's. 48 off of Marshall is a walk, and that breaks Marshall and loads the bases with 2 outs with the tying runs in scoring position for Will Robinson. Will Robinson, let's take a look at him. 1973 Philly with 25 bombs, a 288 batting average. You notice that this team has 2 really good Philadelphia players, Dave Cash and Bill Robinson. So the Phillies are going to have to find other ways of building that great division-winning team of the 70s, as 2 of their cornerstone players reside here in Dayton, and Dayton is not going to give them up. Bill Robinson, bases loaded, 2 outs. Marshall is broken, which means the dots automatically tie the game as it's single dot, the breaking point dot. So we're taking him out. And we're going to go, we got to go with Dale Murray here to get 1 batter out. Here is Dale Murray. He is the de facto closer. Got roughed up in game 2, but he only has to get 1 batter out here in the bottom of the 10th inning. And Dale Murray versus Bill Robinson. Murray's numbers, ERA of 103 in 70 innings, just 1 homer allowed. Dale Murray, Bill Robinson, all the defenses in, bases loaded, 2 outs in a 5-3 game, bottom of the 10th. Here is the pitch to Bill Robinson. 65 off of Dale Murray is a fly ball to center field. And once again, the Expos, the year of living dangerously for the Expos. They get another extra inning win, 2 in a row here. And it is a 5-3 victory. They're up 3-0 in the series. It is their year, folks. Plenty of room on the Expo bandwagon. Wayne Simpson give up the triple to Bacabella. That was it. Tom Hall takes the loss. He gives up no hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, and 2 Ks. And that's called inherited runners scoring. 9 innings for Doc Ellis would give up just 9 hits and 2 runs, and only 1 was earned, could not get a decision, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Dale Murray gets the save, gets the final out. Marshall does get the win, though he gave up 2 hits, 1 unearned run, a walk, and 3 Ks. 7 innings, Baylor Moore, it's actually no decision because of 1 extra. No decision for Baylor. He gave up 5 hits. 2 runs in that 5th inning were both earned. Walking 2, 3, 2 and 3, 3 and 3, 3 and 4, 3 and 5, 3 and 6, 3 and 7. 1-0, 1-10, 0-1, 0-10, 5-10, 3-7, 5-10, 3-7, 6-8, 4-10. Get more strikeouts than that apparently. 1, 2, 3. He must have had 9 strikeouts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, you went 9 innings, 7 innings, 9 strikeouts. There it is. 1-0-1-10, 0-1-0-10, 5-10, 3-7, 6-8, 4-12, 4-12, 6-8. Let's look at these two teams' year-to-date numbers. Oh boy, folks. Cleveland and Detroit. Better be paying attention to this. I've often said it's their division because they're the more traditional teams in this timeline. You know, Cleveland and Detroit should own this division, theoretically. And an expansion team and the misplaced Expos, the vagabond team, kicked out of their own league, kicked out of their own division. But that is not the case. And the Expos are extremely talented. Even in the early part of this decade, they'll be much more talented at the end of the decade. Ohio's 3-4, losing 3 straight. 263 batting average, a 3.48 ERA. Ike Brown's got 4 homers in the team. He's the bright spot there. And your Expos, here it is, folks, 6-1, hitting a terrible 227 with a 3.09 ERA. They've scored 33 runs and they've given up 26 runs, yet they're 6-1. That's the year of living dangerously. This great offense I touted really isn't doing that much, and they're 6-1. What happens if they get this thing cranked up? Oh, and by the way, Mike Marshall has 3 of the 6 victories, and Dale Murray has 3 saves. Only 2 home runs all year by Mike Jorgensen. No one else has a tater, including Bob Bailey, Rusty Staub, and Ron Fairley. 3 sluggers who don't have one. Singleton doesn't have one either through 7 games. So this team is waiting to explode, yet they're 6-1. Oh boy, that is scary right there for the rest of the American League. 112 games in. We're hitting 254 with a 3.30 league ERA. That's it. We'll give you the results of Game 4 and 5, 6, and 7 if necessary. Thanks for checking this out, and we'll see you next time. Well, folks, here's the box score for the Game 3 you just saw. The Expos winning 5-3 in Ohio in extra innings. Could they actually sweep the Ohio players 4 straight by winning a Game 4 in Dayton? Well, let's check it out. The answer is, oh yeah, they can, folks. The bandwagon is taking tickets, folks. The Expos are going to try and roll the outlier run to stardom this year, come out of nowhere where no one has any idea what's going on. And they're in a division they weren't in this timeline. They're in a league they weren't in this timeline. They've assembled players. These are all Expos, by the way. Singleton, Hunt, Jorgensen, Bailey, Staub, Fairley, Stoneman, Rogers, Baylor Moore, Steve Ranko. I mean, these are Expos. They just got them all lined up in the correct year, and they are not taking any prisoners. They're trying to change history. Off to a 7-1 start, a 4-game sweep. We had an RBI sac fly in the first by Bob Bailey, 2-run homer by John Bacabella in the second inning. Who? You know, the hero of Game 3 that you just saw. And yeah, it's ugly, folks. The Ohio players have no idea what was going on in this one. They were blitzed and had no shot. 7-2 is the final. Bill Stoneman was pulled after 7 innings, giving up just 1 unearned run just to give his bullpen some work. But most of this series was not particularly close. That 1 extra inning game. Yeah. Congratulations to the Expos. Early on, Cinderella. We got an early Cinderella candidate from the North. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.